Colonel?
All set.
Good morning, everyone. I'm State Senator Seth Lewis. Thank you for being here today. I represent the 24th District, which is the northern and western suburbs of DuPage County. We are halfway through our session. While many in Springfield are focusing and zeroing in on the budget, there's another issue that I just want to draw to people's attention. Illinois is losing people, it's losing businesses, and it's losing ground. And that's why I often say, through our policymaking, we need to make Illinois a place where people want to live and not leave. And it's the lens in which I look at every piece of legislation. Because if we don't change course, the budget challenges we're facing today will only increase tomorrow. In addition to serving as one of the lead budgeteers for the Senate Republicans, I also serve on the bicameral bipartisan commission called COGFA, which stands for Government Forecasting and Accountability. This nonpartisan commission provides vital data and forecasts for every legislator here in the Senate and the House, total 177 individuals. Earlier this week, COGFA gave us some new data, and the information is alarming to me, many of my colleagues, and those who work here in Springfield. We reviewed projections showing Illinois is expected to lose over 500,000 residents over the next 7 years. As you can see in this chart, we are here, but we're expected to be there in 2033. It does not have to be this way. These are projections. Just as when a doctor gives you a diagnosis, you can decide whether you want to change and improve yourself, or you can keep on living the way you want to live and face the consequences. We're at that inflection point here in Illinois. I'm happy to be with my colleagues today who are standing with me because we have a package of bills that we want to help change the direction. So we're proposing a different approach, one that focuses not just on attracting new businesses, but perhaps even more importantly says thank you for being here in Illinois. Because here's the truth, we don't say it often enough that businesses already in Illinois are some of our greatest assets. They've invested here, they created jobs here, they stayed here even when it wasn't easy. And too often our businesses are taken for granted. That's why my legislation is designed to change. I'm proud to sponsor Senate Bill 3786, the Illinois Legacy Tax Credit. It's built on a simple idea: loyalty should matter. If businesses stayed in Illinois, invested in Illinois, and employed Illinois workers, we should recognize them, and that commitment should reward them. Under this proposal, businesses receive a $100 tax credit for every year they've been headquartered here in Illinois. You've been in business 20 years in Illinois, a $2,000 tax credit. It's simple, it's predictable, and it sends a clear message that staying in Illinois should be rewarded and not taken for granted. We also recognize that businesses are about people. That's why my bill also includes a $100 credit for each Illinois employee, plus an additional $25 if you're part of a collective bargaining agreement. Because when businesses stay, jobs stay, and when jobs stay, families stay. This is about stability, it's about retention, and it's about protecting the economic foundation we already have. Let's be honest. Illinois has a reputation as being a business-unfriendly state. I want to change that. Businesses see higher taxes, more red tape and uncertainty. And when those pressures add up, they look elsewhere. We're seeing it happen right in front of our own eyes, and we know it can happen in the future. This bill helps change that narrative. It tells employers, we see your commitment and we appreciate it. It tells workers, your jobs matter, and we want you to stay right here in our state, proud of our state, Illinois. And it tells the next generation, most importantly, You do not have to leave Illinois to succeed. You can build your future right here in our state with your friends and family. Because if we're serious about turning the state around, we need to stop measuring success by not only by those businesses we can attract, but by keeping those who want to stay here. The legacy tax credit is a step in that right direction. It rewards commitment, it supports workers, and it strengthens communities across Illinois. Because when businesses leave, we all feel it, but when they stay, we all benefit. Our goal should be simple. Let's make Illinois a place where businesses and people want to be and not leave. With that, I'd like to turn things over to my colleague, Senator Craig Wilcox.
Thank you, Senator Lewis. Good morning. I'm Senator Craig Wilcox. I represent the 32nd District up in Lake and McHenry counties. Illinois has always been a place of opportunity, but right now, as Seth said, it has a reputation for being one of the toughest places in the country to run a business, especially a small business. High taxes, complicated regulations, rising costs all make it difficult for entrepreneurs to grow, hire, and invest in their communities. I represent a district that borders Wisconsin. Many of our counties border other states, and I've seen this challenge firsthand. I've watched hardworking business owners close their doors, move just a few miles to the north, across the border where taxes and regulations are a bit more favorable. Every time this happens, it's more than just a lost business. It's a lost opportunity for economic growth and stability in our communities. That's why I'm proud to sponsor two pieces of legislation that bring meaningful relief to small businesses and their employees. The first bill, Senate Bill 3792, ensures that tips earned by service workers are not subject to Illinois income tax. Simply put, if you've earned it, if you've been given that tip by a customer, you should keep it. For servers, bartenders, and tipped employees, tips are a significant portion of their income. Allowing them to keep more of what they earn helps families cover expenses, plan for the future, and support their local economies. This change actually also benefits employers. When employees keep more of what they've earned, their job satisfaction and retention improve. That means lower turnover, reduced training costs, more stable staffing for restaurants and service businesses. The second bill, Senate Bill 137, focuses on small businesses that collect sales tax. It's interesting that when you decide to open a business in Illinois, you automatically become an automatic tax collector for the state. Right now, retailers receive a small discount, 1.75%. This portion of the tax they collect is supposed to help them cover the administrative costs of collecting and remitting those taxes to the state. Senate Bill 137 raises that discount to 3.5% for businesses with less than $50,000 in monthly sales. While that may seem modest for many small businesses, it can make a difference. It means money stays in their cash flow that month, help them reinvest in their business, hire new employees, purchase equipment, cover everyday operating expenses. At its core, this bill provides a fairer return for the work businesses are expected to do on behalf of the state. It's a practical, common sense measure that helps entrepreneurs stay competitive, especially when interchange fees often exceed that 1.75%. Consider this: a small business generating $40,000 in gross revenue sales each month retains much needed dollars. Typically in the $70 to $80 range, this is going to apply. It's in essence doubling what the state says thank you for. Together, these bills send a clear message that Illinois values businesses and the jobs and the opportunities in our local economies. As Senator Lewis said, it's a thank you for being here and doing business in Illinois. But we can't just talk about supporting businesses. We have to act These bills put actions behind those words. Supporting small business is smart public policy. When they grow, they create jobs. They invest in their communities and strengthen our local economies. I've seen what happens when Illinois doesn't take action. We have projections of what that might look like. Businesses leave, jobs leave, opportunities leave. We cannot allow that to continue. We need to make Illinois a place and a state where businesses can thrive and look forward to a positive future. That's the guiding principle behind these bills, and I look forward to working with my colleagues in Springfield, and we'll introduce Senator Dave Syverson.
Thank you very much, Senator Dave Syverson. I represent Northern Illinois, so Boone County, McHenry County, Northern Kane, and DeKalb. We talked a little bit today about the role of business. Small business is what built this state, and small business is what's going to be able to Illinois continue to maintain as a strong economic engine. But one of the issues that are really affecting small business is the area of healthcare. It's never a fun subject to talk about, but it's the fastest growing expense for small business. In Illinois, only about 30% of small employers can even afford to offer health insurance for their employees. That means for the majority of small employers, their employees have to purchase their own health coverage. And in Illinois, we only allow one plan, which is through the state of Illinois, the ACA plan that's being offered. That plan's expensive, and under Illinois rules currently, the costs for those plans are not deductible. It's interesting, in the state of Illinois, I would just have a quick example of one. If you work for the state of Illinois, your health plan only has a $325 deductible, and your premium for a single employee is $188 a month. That's what a government employee is going to pay for their health insurance. And they get to deduct that whole $188 off of their taxes. However, if you're an individual in Illinois and you're going to have to purchase your own health coverage, the average policy has a $4,000 deductible, and the premiums are between $650 and $1,200 a month for just an individual. And the state of Illinois says, yes, it's expensive, and we're not even going to allow you to deduct it. Think about that. In Illinois, if you work for the state government, the premiums you pay are deductible. If you work for local government or a school district, the premiums that the employee pays is deductible. If you are a state legislator, if you are a government employee, the premiums you pay are deductible. The only ones we don't allow to deduct the premiums are struggling employees who work for small employers that don't offer health insurance. They have to pay these large premiums, and they do not get a chance to even deduct it. I've introduced Senate Bill 2763, just a simple fairness that says if it's good enough for elected officials, it should be good enough for those they represent. This bill just says that individuals who purchase individual health policies can deduct those the same way that those who work for government or work for large employers get to do. Again, it's a fairness issue, and it could have a big impact on helping small employers retain and attract employees that have no place else to get health insurance except for through the individual market. So a simple bill, something that would help almost 500,000 families in Illinois who are currently under the ACA health plans. So with that, we appreciate your indulgence as we talk about how we can help improve Illinois' jobs climate, and happy to answer any questions that you might have.